Uh-oh. Get ready.
I fucked that up.
You fucked it
I
up.
fucked it up. We're leaving it. We're leaving it. I spent $18,000 on this intro. We're just going to leave it. You ready?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Episode 18. Dave messed up the intro, but here we are. We got through it. We spent all that money on that intro, so we couldn't skip it. How are you?
I'm so good. I think this is going to be the greatest podcast you and I ever recorded. Like, this is going to be the best Banana and Beat pod ever. I'm going into it with I don't know. I just got great mojo. I just got a good feeling.
I have a headache, so I mean, I guess maybe it's, I don't know, mojo, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. What the hell? Episode 18. Here we are. I had a wild, I don't want to say wild weekend. It was just a wild 24 hours. But how was your weekend before I start going in on everything that I did?
I'm so I'm a kid. I should have brought popcorn. I want to hear about your weekend so bad. I can't wait for everything to come out. Yeah, the weekend was really good. A ton of family stuff, a lot of family stuff. I had fights the weekend before. I got fights coming up this weekend, so this was a good little family weekend. But then fight-wise, it was awesome. The UFC and not even just, we'll get into a 10-minute Bryan battle spiel for sure. So we'll get into that. But it was an absolute Fight Bananas family. Everyone that was hooked with Fight Bananas or affiliated with Fight Bananas, guys like Brandon Olin Allen, Phil Rowe, Nick Maximov, everyone part of the show won. Charlie Payne, who did commentary with Island Fights, she won out there in Arkansas, on a regional show. It was just a Fight Bananas fucking takeover. It was insane. Well, it was good.
Congratulations, Team Fight Bananas. I butchered that. I butchered it. But yes.
Damn, look at that hoodie. I don't even know what's going on there.
Oh my gosh. What is that? Under Armour?
Shout out. I know these the good guys from Some People Suck podcast gave me this. I won it.
Oh, I like that.
I know. I'm feeling it. I'm vibing it. I tall wise. I think I was looking skinny in it. I'm not gonna lie.
You're serving neck. You're serving biceps. You're serving hair and jawline. We love it. Yeah. Wait, did it? Felicia Spencer came over this weekend. Was that this weekend?
Oh yeah, that was
Friday.
Week. She paid off her debt. Yeah.
I really enjoyed seeing that. I was jealous. I'm I would love to come over there and be like, Dave, get the fuck up out of your house because I'm taking care of all these children and then bring my children and just have a nuts wild house.
That's a reality show. All of our kids just jam together and us, the parents somehow mingling out life and whatever. Yeah. That would be a reality show. It was awesome. Her husband Todd came over as well. We had dinner and then they walked the kids and they kind of spent time with them. And it was good. She paid off the debt. That's what happens when you lose to a bet with Dave Van Auken.
I've actually been sitting around and thinking about that because I was like, man, I'm actually jealous that Felicia Spencer got to have a bet with you. Oh. And I want to make a bet with you. And I know what I want to do if I lose. But I can't tell you. It's so top secret. But it is so wild and life altering that you would just be so we got to come up with a bet. I can't talk about it too much because I don't want to get people excited for nothing. But
you're not taking me to that place with the snake, are you?
No.
Table? Okay.
No, but it's going to be, when the time comes, I know what I want to do.
Okay. Maybe we'll make a Knuckle Mania bet, maybe something of that nature. I think we both have Chad Mendez winning. I think we both got Mike Perry winning. I think we both got Fiera winning. And then what's the other one? I think we got Luis Palomino winning. So I don't know. We might not. We might be on the same.
We might have to pick somebody on the lower card and just. I'm heads, you're tails, and that's it.
Would Brandon Lambert ever fight again? Tails.
I always am so confused by that because he will be posting. And don't get me wrong, I love Brandon Lambert. Like, I can see, I understand you love him or you hate him. He's always been such a sweetheart to me. But I'm always like, man, you're always talking about fighting, and then I never see it just like actually come to be. So I would actually enjoy to see Brandon Lambert fight again.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. He does post a lot.
You and him in the pillow fighting championship.
I'm in. All right. It was a bananas weekend for Taylor Starling traveling to Miami, and like people don't understand. Like I do it all the time too. You know this. Like we can go to a place and spend 36 hours, and like we'll do like a week's worth of activities in one day, in a day and a half. It's so wild. And you did so much. I just want. Give me the popcorn. I'm ready. I'm listening.
Okay, so yeah, I took a very, I don't want to say spontaneous because it was kind of planned out, but it fell through and I had to reschedule it like super short notice. But I flew down to Miami and I got to shoot with the one and only Orangutan. So those of you who don't know who Orangutan is, Mike Orangutan, he is a well-known photographer. He shoots the baddest bitches ever. And I don't mean to say it in the bad way because they're very like women positive, but shoots the baddest of the bad women. And they're like, him and his wife, they team up, they have all this great team and their work is amazing. So it's one of those things that was like a dream for me. I was like, man, one day if I could just shoot with orangutan, and then it just like, I made it happen. And then I actually got to go and shoot, to go be on a podcast for Uli Diaz. And that was really fun, but.
Wait. Okay.
What?
So you mentioned this to me maybe a month ago. You were like, hey, I was going to do this, and then something fell through. I think maybe sick or something like that nature, right? You're like, hey, I'm going to shoot with orangutan, right?
Yeah.
So the first time you ever mentioned that to me, like you just said that, I go, damn, dude, that's awesome. Like Taylor's going to go down and like shoot with monkeys. Like monkeys are going to be on her. Like a real orangutan, like a photo shoot with like you and a monkey and like bananas around. I'm like, dude, that's so cool. But then like you said it to me again. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's a guy. Like it's a guy's last name. And like he's like super famous. He's like world renowned.
Yeah. And like him and his wife do it together. Okay. They got other people on their team, but him and his wife do this together, and they're very women positive, body positive, good vibes, good energy. Like, I was so nervous because I'm like, I think I was telling you about this last week. I'm like, man, I'm going to go do this photo shoot where this guy has shot pictures of the baddest. And when I say the baddest females, I mean, go look at Orangutan's Instagram. The women on there are stacked, beautiful, talented. A lot of them are like pretty famous and stuff. It made me so scared because I'm like, one, I ain't got no titties. I got a little bit of butt. I got stretch marks. I'm a mom. I'm going to go out here and look so stupid. And I went out there and they made me feel like a damn goddess. They put me in outfits and baby oil and sprayed me with a water hose and did all of this whole number. And like the whole time I felt so confident. So just in my zone, I felt like I was the baddest bitch that had ever been shot by them. Like it was really fun. It was so cool. And it was just like, the best way to explain it is Mike and his wife are like two mythical unicorn creatures. They leave out of state every week, every other week. They're in LA, they're in Utah, they're all over the place. I did not know what to expect because if you look them up, like Mike Orangutan looks like an avatar. And then his wife is like stunning. And I'm like, I don't know what to expect. But when you are with those people, they are like mythical creatures. Like the way that they talk and communicate, they are on like another level. Just.
Did you do it at their house or at like a place?
Yeah, it was at their house. They have like this house, but the whole house is entirely like gutted for photo shoots. Every single room and even every single corner of their house is something different. And it's not like some janky setup. It is like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars invested into like one partial part of a set. And then there's the next one, and then there's the next one, and then there's the next one. And my favorite part was in their house, every time someone shoots with them, they do a Polaroid. Like they take a picture of a Polaroid of someone, and then they take that Polaroid and they put it on their wall. And there was like so many walls in their house, like huge walls filled from top to bottom of Polaroids of big old greasy booties and boobies and bad females, and just like it was so beautiful. It was like art. Like it was insane. It was wild. It was just one of those things where I'm like, oh my God, you have to like experience that. Like,
yeah. Was there someone on that wall you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that, and like there she was?
No, I actually, the funny thing is like I know that Paige, Pearl, and Rachel have shot with them, and I was like looking at that wall like, where's Paige's butt or Rachel's butt, and I was like trying to look for it, but there was so many that I couldn't have even. I don't think I could have found it, but they took one of me, and I mean I was excited. I was like, oh my God, I get to be on the wall. So it was really cool.
Gosh, that's so cool. That's crazy. That's awesome.
There was just like, I don't know, just an artist. I could see people looking at them and being like, oh, they just take pictures of like naked women or women in bikinis or women in thongs. But like the art that they have and the talent and the power, like it was just wild to see him and his wife work together. It's like they could. I remember I walked into this RV where they got me ready and like put makeup on me and did my hair and stuff. I walk in and she's talking to me, doing my makeup, and I hadn't met the photographer yet, who is the orangutan. She's like, oh, Mike will be here in a minute and you'll get to meet him and blah, blah, blah. And I started getting like so nervous, and he walks in and has like this just like aura of like power and like intelligence. And he walks in and he like looks at me and talks to me, tells me how beautiful I am. Wow, you're so beautiful. And we're very excited. And then he looks at me and he just goes like, I want her to wear this, and this. And named every single outfit. Like just by looking at me, looked at me and he goes, I want her, this is what we're going to do. Bam, bam. She needs to look like this, do her hair like this. I want her in this outfit. And it was like, I'm just sitting there like, okay, cool.
That's so cool. That's awesome. Like anyone, right? Like how like that artist, like a commentator, right? Like anyone kind of talking, or a fighter or anything, like a school teacher, you get all these kids and like, no, okay, I want that troublemaker away from that troublemaker. I want this, man. Yeah, that's so cool. I like that. I like that. I got a fun story for you later.
Go ahead.
No, just something about like the fights. So Island Fights released the like some of the videos that Jillian and I did, like the commentary. Yeah. So for one, like there was like just like the main event was awesome, and then the co-main event, this Reggie Northup, he's like an FSU linebacker torn into fight, like he's got like superstar written all over him. So they brought his fight out. It was just like so cool to kind of like hear what Jillian and I was saying. That was like the first time, like because you're in it, like you really are not listening, But then the crazy thing was there was literally a 3-second knockout, and it's supposedly be like the fastest knockout ever. It's faster than Uli Diaz's knockout that we're going to talk about later in the episode. But so this 3-second knockout, and I don't remember anything of it. All I remember, like you and I talked about, like it got really scary. The kid really, like it was messed up for a while. And I just remember like almost kind of like signing off, like, hey, we're just going to kind of quiet back. This is a real serious situation. I don't want to talk over it. Like, and it's almost like a learning lesson. Maybe I should have talked. I don't know. I really don't know what the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But literally the whole fight, it's like I said, this guy in the blue corner, blah, 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 this guy in the red corner. And here we go. And it was like, oh, wow, quick right hand, boom. And then I go, oh, like the whole sound, it's like 12-second clip. It's this clip. It's been like, it's almost viral now. It's just me yelling for 8 seconds. I'm like, I don't know. Like that's
yeah,
it's organic. Like when you see a 2-second knockout and a nasty one, like you don't have something pre-planned. Like you don't have chitty chitty bang bang. Like you don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't have like a punchline. It's just like organic. And you hear Jillian for a second. She's like, like you could hear like the
shock,
the air. But it was wild. It was crazy.
And it's crazy because like watching a knockout on TV, like it's exciting, but when you're in person, you see somebody get knocked out unconscious, it is like
it's not even the sea. Like, Tay, you know that it's the sound.
The sounds.
The thud.
Breathing, like the breathing that people experience when they're unconscious is very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. Very scary. That's just so exciting. Yeah.
It's crazy. So it was cool. It kind of reminded me of, especially where you're going. Okay, so that's kind of so the shoot was amazing. Like, was it the greatest like photo shoot you ever did?
Absolutely, hands down. It was
I'm like so excited.
The most legit. And then I knew how serious this was, but I had girls messaging me like, I cannot believe that you got to shoot with orangutan. That is like a dream of mine. That is amazing. How was it? What was it like? So yeah, very cool. And I can't wait. I want to do it again. We had the best day. I spent the majority of my day with them, and it was amazing.
So I saw you put some stuff like on your IG stories of like almost like the day of there, like, but are they kind of, they want to show you the photos first, or do they release them first? How does that work? Like some people
I'm not
like
sure.
in art,
I think they're gonna email them to me, like, but they just have this agreement with me that's like, we're gonna send them to you. I paid to get them rushed because like they're so legit that if I wouldn't have paid to have them rushed, they would be to me in like a month. And then it's like I paid extra to have them sent to me in a week. So even just to wait this week, I'm going to be just like,
I know.
I'm ready to see. And like everybody knows I love makeup. I wear a lot of makeup. For that photo shoot, I wore like no makeup. I didn't really have any makeup on. I just can't wait. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild.
I saw you kicking something off of the top of his head.
He was like, try to kick this loaf of gluten-free bread off my head. So I was like, okay.
I would have kicked the gluten-free bread off your head.
Yeah. I was like, all right, let's do it.
Screw gluten-free, man. Come on. I ain't about that mess.
They don't do gluten or sugar or anything like that. So we were kicking gluten away was the theme of the video.
I want all the sugar, all the gluten. I give it all to me, please.
Yes.
So you're with them. You do this amazing photo shoot. You're down there in South Florida, and I know. Okay, before the punchline, tell me what's the backstory. How did you get, kind of connected? How did you and Uli connect on the Don't Blink podcast?
So his co-host name is Mike. There's like a lot of Mikes in this story. His name is Mike. First of all, me and Uli have always been like, no, I don't want to say like super tight, but like after he saw me fight in Knuckle Mania, man, he's always been in my corner. And then he was there when I fought Cassie Robb. And after that, we just always kind of stayed in touch. And I'm always like, man, I've been a huge fan of yours. And so to have that recognition, we just always got along. And I think maybe Uli reached out to his team and was like, hey, I would love to have Taylor on. And they hit me up like, hey, if you ever want to come down and do it, like, let us know. And then they kind of pressed it a little more like, hey, come be on the podcast. Or if you're in Miami, we would love to have you. And I was like, I will make the trip to do it. And I was supposed to go earlier for that too. And that's when I got COVID. And so I just kind of switched everything to one day. And I don't think people understand, like, this 24-hour trip killed me. I got up at 4 a.m., got the boys ready for school, took them to school, drove straight to the Charlotte airport, hopped on a flight, hopped off the flight, Ubered to my photo shoot, shot pictures all day long until like 4:30 or 5 p.m., Ubered back to my hotel just to like dry my hair and throw clothes on, went straight to the podcast with Uli and them, and then got back to the hotel. Didn't eat a whole meal the entire time I was there. I just was like, bam, bam, bam. But their
you should do that for like what weight cut day. Like that's a weight cut day.
By the end of the day, I was so delirious. It was kind of scary. I was like, I gotta sleep or I'm just not gonna wake up tomorrow. It was wild.
And okay, so how was it? Was it amazing? I cannot wait to hear. So it's gonna drop this week. And I don't want to say anything that's not right. It's gonna drop this Thursday.
I believe it drops this Thursday. It was so awesome. Like, it was just fun. We got to sit there and just talk. And the funny thing is I remember I walk into the studio at the room and I sit down and I put the headphones on and I'm thinking like, oh, we're gonna have like a 3, 2, 1 countdown. but me and Uli and Mike start chopping it up and like sitting at the table talking. And then Uli's like, all right, I guess we're starting the podcast. And I was like, I don't know. I just was talking to you, but yeah, let's go. And then they started it. It was really cool. We talked forever.
It's so funny because when I do a show, I always do a countdown. Like I let the people know, like, okay, we're starting, because sometimes what we say off air sometimes doesn't go on air, whatever. And I just think it's like the professional thing to do. But it's funny too. The shirt I'm wearing, the hoodie I'm wearing, the Some People Suck podcast, which is amazing. Everyone go listen, download it. Like same kind of thing. Like they just start talking. Like it's just like this conversation. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, I'm gonna hit record now, and just like keep the conversation going. Like there's no like beginning of it. It's like it's different, but I do vibe to it. It's like it kind of gels.
It was fun. We did we did the podcast and we talked forever. And I could have sat in there and talked to them all night long. Like, we just talked and talked and talked. And but afterwards, the guy Mike, the co-host and host, he was like, we're gonna go downstairs and we're gonna have a stare off. It's the Don't Blink challenge, because their podcast is like Don't Blink. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I got this. And we had us a nice little stare off, and I guess we'll have to see who wins. But it was fun. I was like, all right, we're doing a stare off. And we just sat there and like stared at each other, and it felt like forever.
You had to win. Like I'm like, I got so much faith in you. And it's funny too. We did the same thing. Like Jillian and I, like they said to us, the camera people for Island Fights, they like, hey, will you and Jillian do a standoff and do it? Like I tried. I smiled and laughed like right away. Like I can't, I just couldn't be serious. And she's like, puts that fighter face on. I was like, damn, don't even look at me that way.
Yeah. I think
you won.
I wear fake eyelashes and stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my excuses now.
Man.
But it was really cool. I
can't wait.
It was good. I really, like, me and you always talk about being on a podcast, and sometimes we kind of try to censor ourselves without doing it on purpose, but we are like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that, or maybe I shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. And on that podcast, there were some things where when I left, I was like, ooh, maybe I should have like not said that, but I did. And I'm like, you know what, whatever, fuck it. It's organic and it was real. And even there was some stuff that Willie was like, oh, we might edit a couple things out. But I was going in, like, we were just having a good conversation. And I was going in on some things that might upset people, but I was like, whatever. But that being said, I have an interesting topic for you. And one of our fans, when I posted on the Instagram story, like, what should we talk about? This gives an awesome transition to that, because all of the Joe Rogan stuff going on. Like, what do you think about that? Okay.
It's funny you say that too, because like it's everywhere, and it's like, anyone who knows me knows how much I love podcasting and love audio. And, you and I talked about something big that's happening kind of in my life and my personal life off the air about that, which is I'm still on pins and needles. Like I'm still waiting to get stuff, like contracts and stuff, like big boy stuff. But it would just be insane to like, hey, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I talk into a microphone. Like there's not a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like there's a far and few in between that just does that. But long story short, I guess around the bush, like I just think at the end of the day, I'm always open to free speech. Like I'm always, hey, we don't have to agree. Like we don't have to agree on whatever, on your favorite sports team. I don't know, marijuana legal or not legal, your favorite fighter, who should be for the championship, whatever the case may be, is whatever. Of course, what they're kind of arguing about, the corona stuff and all that nature, we don't have to agree. That's fine. But like, I'm always open, and I think it should be allowed that I should say what I want to say and how I want to say it. And Taylor should say what they want to say, how they say it. Joe Rogan should say, and whatever. And John Smith should say and do whatever he wants to say. Like, that's what I believe in. Like, we live in a great country, America, which is free. And like, I keep on hearing that so many people are upset with him because he just has this big, huge platform. And it's like, everyone's like, he should have like a it kind of changes what he should say or needs to say, and he has to be more serious about it. It's like that's not on him. Like Joe Rogan is the same guy or the same guy who has this conversation podcast that he was 8 years ago, 10 years ago, when maybe thousands were listening instead of multi-millions. Like, it's not his fault that more people listen to him. Like, it's like, I don't know. It's like, it really, as someone who talks or wants to talk for a living, it does bother me. It's like, man, like,
I think it's so stupid. I support Joe Rogan. I'm just like, you know what? And now people are like dragging up things from years ago and like trying to make it worse. And it's like,
yeah,
like let the man get his bag and do his job. And I love Joe Rogan. So I'm like one of my dreams is to be on the Joe Rogan podcast. So I don't know. I just don't get it. I think there's always going to be something, and then it's like a pack of hyenas, shark infested waters, like one little drop of blood and all them motherfuckers are coming for your head. It's like, and people act like they don't fucking make mistakes.
I was just gonna say that.
Or say offensive shit or do anything wrong. Everybody else wants to be like, I'm fucking perfect, but Joe Rogan does this, and this, and so fucking let's cancel him. Let's like try to ruin this man's entire life. Like, please. People do shit all the time. They just
I don't know. You know me, dad, 4 kids, beautiful wife, all this stuff. Like, life is good. But like, you know how much dumb shit I've done in the past? You know how many like dumb things I've said in the past, especially like high school, college age. Like, I probably said some stupid, ridiculous. And if it was on a podcast 10 years ago, they would be like, Dave, why the fuck did you say that? You know what I mean? Like, we've all said stupid shit, sometimes even out of, spite, or when you're in a really bad mood, whatever. Like, it's just so ridiculous that people like go back like, 8 years ago, this guy said this. It's like, and 20 years ago to now, like, things were different. Like, you could make fun of different things and say different things back then that now you can't. Like, it's not allowed, or just the kind of the world that we're living in. Some for better and some maybe for worse, but some for legitimate better. But it's like, that doesn't mean that what you said 20 years ago wasn't okay back then. Or like, it's just like, I don't know. It's godly.
I think they're going a little too hard on him. And like, I think he'll prevail and come through just fine. But what the fuck? Somebody asked like, what our thoughts are on that. And I'm just like, I think people are just fucking nuts is what I think it is.
Hit me up. What else did you get on the IG?
Let's see. All right. This is more of a question for you. I got a question. And let me tell you, I didn't even know what this meant. So if this does not tell you about my knowledge of football, I had to ask somebody from the gym. Someone said, who's taking who at Super Sunday? And I'm sitting there reading it and I go, what the fuck is the Super Sunday?
Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't watch football. If you tell me who's in it, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
So it's kind of weak this year. So in the Super Bowl, a week from tonight. Yeah, tonight. Wow. Okay. So Sunday. So we're a week away. Oh, this will drop on Tuesday. So it's not Sunday when we're recording. The Super Bowl is the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Los Angeles Rams. And like, the Bengals were the underdog. They were going into the season, one of the lowest predicted teams, not a lot of love. Their best player, Joe Burrow, is super young and coming off a bad injury. So like, not a lot of people believed in him. They've had like a killer year, like upset after upset after upset. So they're in the Super Bowl. People who like to bet, they're a 4.5 point underdog. The Rams are a 4.5 point favorite. I'm leaning the Rams. I think Los Angeles is going to win. They're in Los Angeles. I think they just got more veterans and more people that have been there, more people that are ready. The coach has been to a Super Bowl before, a really good, smart coach. So I think the Rams will win on Super Sunday.
Okay.
I broke that shit down. ESPN might be calling me.
That's when the elevator music starts playing in my head.
Oh my goodness.
Football. I literally, like, I'm telling you, I was reading this out loud and I'm like, when is a Super Sunday and who's who? I'm like,
Oh my goodness. I love it. That's so funny.
I'm just gonna say this. I'll make my prediction, even though I don't even know. I didn't even know who was playing until you just told me right now. I'm gonna go for the Cincinnati Bengals because I like Tigers.
That's the video. That's
And
the intro video.
and when they win,
Ooh, this maybe is a betting opportunity.
there we go. Okay, Bengals.
I got the Rams.
All right, but now we gotta say what do you do if you lose? I know the sad thing is I'm giving myself my punishment, but it's kind of like dope and kind of like you're literally gonna be like, ah.
I'm so intrigued now. Gosh, I gotta win. I'm so intrigued.
So you're going for the Rams. I'm going for the Bengals.
All right, so maybe I'll put out a poll. I'll put out something on my IG too, like maybe, and I'll tag you in it. Like, so if I lose a bet to Taylor, what do I have to do? Like, we'll figure something out. I don't know. Maybe, maybe, you know what? No one.
What?
What's like the worst adult thing in life?
Bills.
That too. I can't help you with that. No. You know what's like the worst? You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, Dave, you're right. Moving. What? Like moving's the worst.
Oh yeah.
So when maybe, and I don't know if I can, maybe I shouldn't be saying this to you on air, but like when you move, I will help you move.
Okay. All right, deal.
Because that sucks. Who wants to do that?
That's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, mine's a lot more permanent. But
dude, are you getting a tattoo?
No, maybe.
No, maybe.
You'll never believe what it is. And I'm gonna tell you right now that I almost want to lose because it'll be so fucking fire that
permanent.
But we can still, let's keep open the suggestions on losing, but I would definitely
we'll put something out there. We'll do something permanent.
Oh, it's very permanent.
You're gonna get a dog and name it Dave the Banana.
Dave Van Auken.
Yeah. All right. Can we talk about our boy? Can we talk about our guy who's been on the podcast? Pooh Bear. I've been talking with Brian for over 2 years, 3 years before he was a regional star. Now he's the Ultimate Fighter winner, or he was still the Ultimate Fighter winner. Now he's winning fights in the Ultimate Fighter, and just like his swag all weekend was just like, God, he had Killer B swag.
Bryan motherfucking Battle. He's a gangster. And I tell people, y'all just don't, if you haven't met Bryan Battle in person, or you haven't sat and talked to Bryan Battle in person, he is a dope ass motherfucking gangster. Like, he is just the coolest. He has the best energy. His mental fortitude is fucking crazy. Like, I knew watching that fight, like Trayshawn Gore, like I can tell you, Trayshawn Gore's plan was to go in there and like weather the storm and try to like use as little as possible and then knock Bryan Battle out. But like, you can't knock out a motherfucker who has the mental fortitude of, I ain't going out, motherfucker, unless you kill me. Like, and that's how Bryan Battle thinks, and it showed in that fight. It was amazing. Oh, I was so happy for him.
I'm going to try to say this the nicest way possible, but like, and even the commentary guy said it, like Michael Bisping threw it out there, like Trayshawn Gore, who is a 3-0 professional fighter, like 3-0, like not 10-0, not 15-0, like 3-0, and has a lot of potential, could do big things in the game one day. But this guy comes out and says like, I want to be a 2-weight champion. I want to be the best UFC fighter of all time. It was like, bro, like,
don't get me wrong. Everybody should believe in themselves that way.
But yeah, it was just like, it's different. Like, and that's what even the commentator guy saying, like, you should, like, you're in this to be world champion or be the best. But like what they were saying, like, for him to be this kind of cocky about it. And it wasn't like, hey, I want to be champion. Instead of like, I will be 2-weight. Like, I don't know. They like how they talked around it. It was like, damn, dude. Like,
let me tell you, I got in an internet battle, and we all know I don't do internet battles, but I did get in an internet battle with some trolls because, all right, Brian posted the clip of them facing off, and Trayshawn Gore says his Bible scripture, and I'm like, okay, great. People do that all the time. You say your Bible scripture, whatever. But after he says the Bible scripture, starts going in on Brian. Oh, you think you ain't gonna see my downfall, blah, 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 blah. And like, whatever. Like, I don't have any issue with Trayshawn Gore. Props to you. Talk your shit. Do what you want. Some people just do that. But I made a comment on there and I said, first of all, I jacked it up. I didn't mean this on purpose, but I didn't change it either. I put, how in the hell is she gonna talk all that shit and then try to shake your hand? And I actually put she. And I didn't even see it till like hours later. Yeah. But let me tell you, these internet trolls were coming for me. They were like, he's quoting the Bible and blah, blah, blah. And like just coming on me. And I'm like, it doesn't have to do with the scripture. It has to do with like, you said that, but then you ran your mouth and then you try to shake his hand. Because like, I'm one of those people that I'm like, either you like, and you can do both, whatever. But in my mind, in Killer B's mind, I'm either going to be respectful to you or I'm going to talk my shit. Like, if I'm talking shit to you, I'm not going to be like, oh, let's shake hands. Yeah. And Bryan Battle I think Bryan Battle handled it perfectly. He didn't say a thing. He didn't shake his hand. He just let it go. It's beautiful.
Yeah, like everyone, like I saw a lot going into, I want to go back to the troll thing in a second though, but like a lot of people were talking into it like, oh, like Battle seems like he's really upset about it. It's like, no, like for one, the thing that I relate to Brian the most, and like we've talked on air about it and off air about it and stuff of that nature, like he has a chip on his shoulder. And like, I don't know, I just relate to that so much. Like I have a chip on my shoulder. I still have a chip on my shoulder. I don't care how successful I'm going to be. I will still wake up with a chip on my shoulder. And it's like, and he just was like, all these people, everyone was like, oh, this is for the Ultimate Fighter. And dude, Trayshawn Gore went into that fight as the favorite, the betting favorite. People were picking him. And it was just like, okay, like all you folks that think he's going to beat me, I will show you. Like, it wasn't like he didn't throw anything. He wasn't like outrageously over the top. He's like, okay, that's fine. You pick him. You're going to be wrong. And I'm going to show you I'm the better fighter. Like, I just thought it was like very, like he wasn't fake, you know, and it wasn't like he was like trying to act a certain way. He was just like, oh no, I see this chip. It's growing. I'll get it off.
I'm telling, like, I've been around him so much and I've seen him spar. I've seen that, like, that's the one thing I said too, is like, I've seen Brian spar and I've seen people like literally on their last leg of like anything trying to just defeat Bryan Battle in sparring. And Bryan Battle's like, oh, what's up then, baby? What's up then, baby? Like, let's go. I ain't quitting. And it's just like, he is like that with anybody at any time when it comes to like conditioning or doing any of that stuff. He's very just no stop, no quit, no tiring out, no nothing. So watching that, even when Trayshawn landed shots on him and stuff, I'm like, Brian ain't going out, baby. You're gonna have to literally like off his head to get that man to stop.
I know you're not like the biggest UFC fan and all that stuff, but do you know who Michael Bisping is?
Yes.
Okay, so like that's who. Did you see like the thing that's like the funniest, the best? Okay, you know where I'm going with this. So like, you know, yeah. So Brian definitely had that, you know, mouse over the eye, and like you could tell like he can still kind of like look through it, but it wasn't good vision, right? And Michael Bisping, who's like a UFC Hall of Famer, he was a champion, like he won the Ultimate Fighter, kind of a lot of grit. There's actually a lot of similarities with him and Brian, but like, you know, he only has one eye. Like he legitimately has one eye. It's a glass eye. Yeah. And like, I got the quote right here. Like there's this awesome picture that we posted it, or Fight Bananas posted it on their socials. And like they said, like Bryan Battle, like who needs two eyes? And Michael Bisping goes, tell me about it. Like it was so funny.
That was
like
hilarious.
And like you could tell like Brian didn't mean it or like didn't think he was like Bisping. It was just so organic and like, I just thought it was the funniest shit.
He wasn't like, oh yeah, Michael Bisping, you only have one eye. Me too now. Like it wasn't like that. It was just very like he said it and then was like, it just turned into something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. And his whole post-fight interview and everything. Bryan Battle deserved that. He is and proved that he is the ultimate fighter. And we all knew that. And we all knew that. The Pooh Bear that we all know and love. We're proud of you. I was very excited for his wife, Caitlin, and his son. And I was like just thinking the whole time, I can only imagine what she is thinking right now.
I know. It was crazy. Yep. That's a big win. It was
very well deserved.
Like I said, it was so cool too. So like Bryan Battle and Brendan Allen. So Brendan Allen fought on that card too. So he's usually a middleweight, and a light heavyweight got hurt over probably like 4 days ago, like right before the fight. And this guy, Sam Alvey, who's a vet, been around the sport for a long time, Smiling Sam, like he needed a new fight. And Brendan Allen, who because of being heavier, like he like stepped up on 3 days notice and took the fight.
Yeah.
So as soon as I saw it, it's awesome. Like, I don't know, it's really weird. Me and Brendan have like a really kind of cool, fun relationship. You know, I don't know. We both are sarcastic and funny, and we just kind of text each other, whatever. So like as soon as that fight got announced, like I wrote him, I'm like, dude, you're a fucking stud. Like that's what I wrote. And he wrote back to me. He's like, I'm pretty good looking, Dave. I'm pretty good looking. It was just so funny. And then like one day, I think I texted him one more thing, and he's like, appreciate it. And then, he won the fight, second round, rear naked choke.
Yeah.
It was just cool. Like Phil Rowe won the fight. It was just like, I'm telling you, like, I'm watching the card. It was like an earlier card. Oh, I'm going to say this on the Dave Van Auken show, the highly anticipated Dave Van Auken show. But like, one reason why I think I've over the years kind of turned more into like a fan or just more into fights than other sports, baseball, basketball, football. So like the fights were on earlier during the day. And like you and I talked a little bit when Brian won, like, you know how hard it is to watch fights with kids around?
Oh yeah.
It's so tough. And usually fights are on late at night after your kids go to bed. Like, I can't watch a basketball game. Like I don't think I've watched basketball game in 2-3 years. Like the kids are around, they're up. They're changing the channel. They want to watch YouTube or a Canto on Disney Plus. Like I got no shot. But these fights are on. I'm like trying to watch these fights, and I go into like a back room. I'm not even watching it on my 80-inch flat screen in my living room, like in the dad chair. I can't even watch it. I'm like watching it on this little TV in the back room, just trying to watch the fights, and like all my kids are on me. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
All right. This is how I'm watching the fights then.
Yeah, mine were there, and we had a big viewing party at the gym, so everybody was at the gym, and I can kind of let the boys run around. But it's like anytime that there's something that I'm trying to look at and focus on, like the kids are running, like we had a giant projector, and the kids were just running in front of the projector, and I'm like, sit down for literally 15 minutes. Bryan Battle's fighting for 15 minutes. You guys have not disturbed the entire show. But now when I say don't go in front of the projector, you guys just have to. It was wild, but it was fun. Brody kind of just sat on my lap and he watched. And the best part for me was like, I was talking to them and I'm like, you guys know that guy. You guys know him, because they come to the gym when Brian's there, and Brian plays with my kids and they love him. And Brody just like is watching. He goes, oh yeah, he plays with me in here. And it was like That's just awesome. Cool. And he was like, oh, and now he's fighting on TV.
That is so cool. That's awesome. Man, it was good. It was a real good weekend. I'm excited this week coming up. Showtime Fighting Championship, Anthony Pettis, live on UFC Fight Pass. That's on Friday. Fight Bananas, we are going in thick. We are going in heavy. We're covering the event. We got interviews, so much stuff to do. We have like multiple people even coming to like kind of help me with doing interviews and content creation. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good stuff.
I hope you step in that RP Funding Center and you just feel the vibe of the Killer Bee.
I know.
I hope you feel just everything that like was in that place before.
I might have to like FaceTime you when I'm there. I'm like, this was it. This area is
where the Killer Bee was born, baby. Well, not born, but
remember the post-fight interview, the scrum?
Yeah. Are you talking about my interview where I was like soaked in blood?
No, like not even just yours, but it was like everyone. Like they were trying to do like it was David Feldman, yourself, and Britain was there, and like Chris Lieben, and but like Paige didn't show up. Paige didn't show up once again. Wow.
She didn't show up to that one. She didn't show up to the Rachel when she fought Rachel.
Yeah, maybe she didn't show up for a fight that was maybe going to happen. I don't know, but whatever. Anyway, so the post-fight interview stuff was happening. Like David Feldman was talking, and like I don't know, like I was just so in the moment, and kind of like it was so weird. Like I didn't think I was media that night. Like I did go. I was like, I'm here for Taylor. Like I came for Taylor.
Yeah.
And the guys, like they're like, dude, you got to ask Taylor a question. Like,
yeah.
I remember like, and I know you were like,
come on, Dave.
You were like so hurt.
like how are you gonna have Taylor up there and not say anything when y'all are like besties?
So
and
like
you
I
asked
had
me the worst fucking question of all. At that period of time, because me and Britain were like friends at that time, and you're just like, when's Taylor gonna fight Britain? And I'm like,
oh, that wasn't me. That
was you. Yes, you said when are we gonna see Taylor fight Britain? What did you ask then? I swear.
No, I think my question, or it was like a statement / question, was about like everyone was super excited about like Britain, and she won the main event, and just a lot of stuff was happening. But I was like, guys, hey, congrats to Britain and everything, but the star of the show, like the star was Taylor Starling. Like, what do you think is next for Taylor? Will it be Britain, or will it be something else? Something of that nature. I think it was that.
I remember you asking, when are Taylor and Britain gonna fight? And I was just like, the question you get, and that's what you asked me.
Maybe that's someone else.
Yeah, But I did get asked this. I know we're almost at 50 minutes, but I did get asked this since we're on the topic of Britain Hart and Christine Ferreira.
Ooh.
Someone asked me, one, who do I see as my strongest competition? Not between the two, but just who do I see as my strongest competition? And between Hart or Ferreira, which one would I like to fight? So that being said, I can answer that question. I believe in all of bare knuckle that my strongest competition is Christine Ferreira. 100%. Like I 100% believe that that's my strongest competition. But I ain't scared. But I do believe that Christine Ferreira is my strongest competition. Game recognizes game. And that's all there is to be said. Like she's a tough ass bitch. Like she's a tough ass bitch. And then they asked me, between Hart or Ferreira, who would I rather fight? And I would like to fight both of them, but for different reasons. Like for me and Britain Hart, I think it would be more of a money, like it would just sell more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then
yeah.
I would rather fight Christine because, like I just said, she's a down ass bitch, and I would personally, I would rather fight Christine. But if you ask me on paper, like what do I think is going to get more eyeballs and more attention? Britain Hart. So that's both of that. So there's the questions that I was asked, and there's your answers. But yeah, I think Christine Ferreira is my biggest competition. That's a down ass bitch, and so am I.
Did you see her IG story? I ran across it like a couple of days ago. She did like one of those Q&As, and they said, like the question was like, after you win the title at Knucklemania 2, who do you think would be next for you? And she wrote, I think they're going to give me Taylor Starling.
Boom, baby. No, I didn't see it, but I agree. And I think that's a hell of a match to make. I am very excited for this fight. I think that Christine is going to do something serious, and I can't wait for it. I'm actually I'm very excited for her. I'm very excited for Britain. I think that's a historic moment that's about to go down. But I'll be waiting, baby. I'll be waiting on the other side.
I know. Next week, that's because we're literally like 10 days away, 12 days away from Knucklemania 2. So like next week, maybe we'll get someone who's fighting on that card, or maybe like some kind of like somebody, like some kind of analyst, some kind of like someone who wants to like come in, and we'll just go all in. Like next week will be a Knucklemania 2 preview, road to Knucklemania. Like we'll just kind of really dive all in. And like there's so many things I want to ask you, like so many things that are like only answers that you know and answers like that. To me, it's like really serious and it makes sense. Like in a weird way, are you hoping for one of them to win in 5 seconds and then not be hurt at all? So like they will try to like you and just say if Christine knocks out Britain in 10 seconds, you and Christine can fight in 30 days, like 2 months at the latest. If they go like a 5-round war and they both break hands and it's a thing and Britain wins, a split decision and she's got a busted eye, like she might be out for 6 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like real talk. Like, do you think about that when you watch the fight?
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of people have been like, oh, so you're getting the title shot right next. And I'm like, yeah, but no, because I already know, like, whether it's a war or not, they're not going to, like, push another flyweight championship fight right away. They're going to give it some time to sit. Like, they're going to give it some time to sit, give it some time to soak in that there even is a flyweight champion. Honestly, I would have to assume that either I'm going to fight or not. Like, I'm going to hopefully be fighting in the near future. But if not, either I'll be sitting until they give me the title fight or I'll take another fight. And then after that, they would set up the contender flyweight title fight. I'm not sure.
So you're saying they have to turn the page on something.
Yeah, close the goddamn book already. All right, close the fucking book and shut the pages and send the pages
that doesn't get old at all. Like that joke still feels really good. Like that feels good.
Yeah. So, just close the chapter. The chapter's over. It's done.
Man, turn the pages already. Wow.
Turn the page.
See what page number you're on. Man, whatever. Yeah. We got to do a lot of. Dude, I loved it. I knew going into it. I think people are going to love 52 minutes of us just talking about our week. Super Bowl's coming up. Knucklemania's coming up. Showtime Pet is coming up. But I cannot wait to hear you on the Don't Blink podcast. With
you guys get to hear me all week long this week. Tuesday, Thursday. I'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Banana and the Bee. Thursday, Don't Blink. Hopefully some pictures of my greasy butt cheeks from orangutan or surface on the internet at some point.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like it. I got to do a shoot. I want to do a photo shoot.
You need to wear like a banana. You need to go shoot with orangutan and just do like a banana themed man boudoir photo shoot.
It's so funny. So like, yeah, like you'll see all these pictures. Like, okay, so these are like all these pictures. Come on, ring light, give me. There you go.
Okay,
like,
okay, Poirier.
I was always so clean shaven, and like now, like it's weird. I don't like it. So like, it gets too thick and too like I don't like it. But I do like 4 days, like 4 or 5 days. I'm like, oh, I like. And so I had to like do it today because Friday's like the day, I'm going to be on UFC Fight Pass and going to be doing interviews. So I'm like, Friday's the day I got to look the best. So I shaved today and I'm like, man, it's
already like coming in for shaving today.
This morning.
That's wild. I shaved before this so that you guys wouldn't see my mustache on camera.
Oh my God. Yeah, the best episode we ever did.
Banana and the Bee, baby.
Am I gonna fuck up this outro or am I gonna nail this?
You're gonna nail it.
Like in 3 seconds?
3, 2, 1. Bye.